Hi fashion lovers, you are welcome to another interesting video. In today's tutorial we are going to be learning how to draft an overbust corset. So today's this is going to be a 2-in-1 video. This video is going to be the pattern drafting of the overbust corset, and in the next video we are going to be learning the detailed sewing of the overbust corset. So this is going to be a detailed tutorial on how to draft your overbust with the simplest method. So if it is something you want to learn, you need to keep watching this video. Don't forget to give me a big thumbs up if you find this video very interesting. Don't forget to subscribe and share as well. Let's get started. To get started, you will need to start by drafting our basic bodice block. So this is my pattern paper, and I'm going to start by drafting the front part. So I've marked out a line which is going to serve as my starting point line or a guide for me. So from that line, you want to go ahead and measure your shoulder to your chest line. My shoulder to my chest line is 8.5, and then I'm going to measure my shoulder to my bust point line, which is 9.5. And then I will also measure my shoulder to my underbust, which is 13 inches, and I will measure my shoulder to my front waistline, which is 15.5, and then shoulder to the length of the top is 22 inches. So 22 inches is the length of the top I'm working with. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the same thing again, and then rule a line after that. So this is the chest line, this is the bust point line, this is the underbust, this is the waist line, the front waistline or the half length, and this is the length of my top. So the next thing you want to do is to mark out the back part. Mark from your shoulder to the chest line and shoulder to the length of the back waistline. My front waistline is 15.5. and my back waistline is 14 inches. So the difference between my front waistline and back waistline is 1.5 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark and connect that line. So the next thing is to mark the full length of this top, and to do that, come to the waistline, the front waistline, measure from the front waistline to the length of the skirt of the top. Measure from your front waistline to the length of your top. I have it at 6 inches, and on the back waistline I'm gonna mark that 6 inches. So I have it at 6.5. From my back waistline I'm going to mark that 6.5. That is going to serve as my back length. So I'll go ahead and connect. So this is what I have after I was done. Did you see? So then move over to the front part now. So from the shoulder line, you want to mark half of your shoulder measurement on the shoulder line, and then you also want to mark it on the chest line. Mark half of your shoulder measurement to get your armhole, and then you want to connect with a straight line. The last thing you want to do is to mark your front bust. So my front bust is 19 inches while my back bust is 17 inches. So I already have a video on how I explain how to get your front bust and the back bust. Because of the bust at the front, the front bust is usually bigger than the back because of the bust at the front. So after getting my total bust circumference is 36 inches, but the front is 19 while the back is 17. So by the time you add it up, you're going to have 36 inches. So I want to go ahead and divide my front bust, which is 19 inches, by 2, and whatever thing I have I mark on my chest line. And then the next thing I want to do is to take my shoulder slope. So I've already explained that for your front shoulder slope you're going to take 1.5, and for the back slope is 1 inch because of how our body is. Then you want to also go ahead and take your neckline. I'm using 3 inches by 3 inches. Though we are not using this neckline and the shoulder, but it's going to be a guide for us while drafting our pattern, and that is the reason why we are marking it. So from the chest line, go up by 3 inches, go inward by 3/4 of an inch, or half an inch, 3/4 of an inch, and then you want to go ahead and connect your armhole. So after I'm done connecting my armhole on my waistline, I'm going to mark 1/4 of my waist circumference plus 1.5 inches for that. 1.5 inches for that. And then on the length, I'm going to mark my 1/4 of my upper hip circumference. So wherever your length is, you want to measure around the circumference region there. So whatever thing you have, you mark, and then you want to connect from the chest line to the waistline, and from the waistline to the length of the top. So on the waistline, you want to go ahead and mark your dart. So we're going to be redirecting the leg of this dart due to the type of the dart line that the dress we are working with has. So on the bust point, you mark half of your bust nipple to nipple measurement. Mine is 3.5, that is 7 inches divided by 2 will give me 3.5. On the length, I will come out by 2.5. Did you see? I'll come out by 2.5 and then connect it to my dart line on the bust point. Did you see? So this is me redirecting my dart due to the type of dart the top we are working with has. So that is how we have that is why we are marking the dart in a diagonal way. That is why we are marking the dart in a diagonal way. On the bust point, you mark your half of your nipple to nipple measurement. On the length of the top, you just come out by 2.5 inches. So the next thing is to mark my dart. The dart intake I added on the waistline was 1.5 inches. So I'm going to divide it by 2 and I'm going to mark on both sides of my dart line. Did you see? On both sides of my dart line, that is my 1.5 inches for the dart intake. So you divide it by 2, add it on your dart line, and then go ahead and mark. So the next thing is to connect my dart. Did you see? From the waistline, you connect to the length of the top. Did you see? And then you want to connect it to the bust point, or 1 inch before the bust point. You want to go ahead and connect your dart. So after marking my dart, the next thing I'm going to do is to mark my bust dart. And to mark my bust dart, I'm going to get the difference between the front length and the back length. So the difference between my front length and my back length is 1.5 inches. On the bust point line, I'm going to come down by 1.5 inches and mark my dart to meet the bust point. Did you see? So my own is 1.5, which is the difference between my front waistline and the back waistline, or back length and the front length. Yours can be 1, yours can be 2 inches, yours can be 0.5. Just go ahead and use whatever yours is. So my waist measurement I'm working with is 27 inches, and I want to remove 4 inches from it to have it as 23 inches because it is going to be a snatched waist. So we want to deduct 4 inches from my actual waist measurement. So you can use 6 inches, you can use 4 inches. So to get your waist snatch, what you want to do is divide whatever value you want to take out from your waistline by 4. If you want to take out 6 inches from your waistline, go ahead and divide the 6 inches by 4. You are going to have 1.5, and that 1.5 is what you're going to be using to take a dart from both your front part and your back part. So for me, I want to deduct 4 inches from my actual waist. So I'm going to divide the 4 inches by 4, and if I divide the 4 inches by 4, I'm going to have it as 1 inch. So that 1 inch, I'm going to be using it to take a dart from my front waistline, and also from my back waistline. Hope you are cleared. So I'll go ahead and cut out the back part, so we'll concentrate on the front. Like I said earlier, I want to snatch my waist by 4 inches. So that 4 inches, I'm going to divide it by 4, and it's going to give me me 1 inch. So that 1 inch, I'm going to use it to take out that from the front part and also take out that from the back part. Do you understand? So that 1 inch on my dart line now, I will mark 0.25 here and also mark 0.25 here, meaning that I've taken out half an inch from the 1 inch I want to use as my dart. I have taken 0.25 on both sides of this dart. On both sides of this dart, meaning I have taken half inch. So the remaining half inch, I'm gonna use it to take another dart. Hope you are cleared. So if yours is 1.5, in case you want to deduct 6 inches and yours is 1.5, you can go ahead and take half inch on both sides of the dart, making it 1 inch. So the remaining half inch, you want to use it and take another dart. So for me, I took 0.25 inch on both sides of my dart. So I've taken half inch. The remaining half inch, I will use it to take another dart. Hope you are cleared. So the next thing we are going to do is to contour our underbust. And to contour our underbust, you want to mark 1/4 of your underbust. So my underbust is 28 inches divided by 4 will give me 7 inches. So on the underbust line, I will mark that 7 inches, which is my 1/4 of my underbust circumference. Did you see? That is what I marked. So I'm going to check the dart intake on that underbust. That dart on the underbust, so I have it as 0.75. I will also mark it like I'm going to replace that dart. Did you see? You want to like add it back, and then you check the remaining allowance you have after marking 1/4 of your underbust and that dart intake. Whatever you have as the excess that is remaining after taking that your underbust measurement and adding back the dart inches. So I have excess of 1 inch on that underbust, so I took half inch on both sides of the underbust. So that excess is what I'm going to use to contour the underbust. So there are different ways I normally use to contour my underbust, and this is one of the ways. So in case you have seen my other video where I took one inch on both sides of the underbust, that one also works. So you can do whatever one that work for you. So this is another way I contour my underbust. So from that underbust, you want to like mark your dart line and connect to the 0.25 inch you took on the waistline. Did you see? You want to go ahead and connect. And on the down part here, I'm gonna be taking a dart of 0.5 inch on the down part like this. Did you see? On the length of the top, I took half inch on both sides of that dart line, and then I went ahead to connect. So the next thing we are going to do is to mark the second line, the second dart line. That second dart line is where we are going to be adding our half inch, the remaining half inch that we use for the waist cinching or waist snatching. So I just went ahead to like get the midpoint of my shoulder and mark. So the reason why I got the midpoint of my shoulder and connected to the bust point is that I want to open this shoulder dart. Did you see? I want to open the shoulder line, I want to open it up and close this bust dart. So I want to close the bust dart so I'll be able to draw my second dart line. Did you see? So I opened up the shoulder and closed my bust dart. So when you want to close a dart, you want to open another place to transfer the dart to that place. It will transfer the dart to that particular position. So that is what I did. I closed my underbust. Did you see? I closed it up and transferred it to the shoulder. So now I'm trying to like get the second dart line. So from this place I marked 2.5 away from the main dart, and I'm going to connect this. So at this point I actually made mistake. I'm supposed to connect this straight to the armhole, but I just connected this straight, but later I actually I have to like redraw it later. So what you will do is that you connect this dart line, you want to link it to your armhole so you'll be able to cut it out. So what I did what I did is that on the waistline I marked 0.25 on both sides, which is half inch now, and then I went ahead to connect my dart. So on the down part here too, I also mark 0.25 on both sides of the dart line. Please bear in mind that the 1 inch for the waist snatch, which is the 4 inches you are taking out from the waist, is what I'm using to take my dart. So I use half inch, and I took that of half inch on the main dart line, and also took another half inch on this new dart line, meaning that I've taken that 1 inch, which is going to serve as my waist cinch or waist snatching method. I hope you are cleared, and I hope you are cleared. So did you see now? So whatever that intake I have on the down part, I will go ahead and replace it, because we are not snatching that down part. Did you see? The waist snatch is only on the waistline. So that intake I have on the down part, I went ahead to remark it. Did you see? I went ahead to add back that that, and then from the waist I went ahead to connect. Did you see? So now we have cinched or snatched our waist. So the next thing you want to do is to get your overbust. So what you have, the length, you measure your bust point to your underbust. Your bust point to your underbust, I have it as 3.5 inches and 3 inches, sorry. So you want to from the bust point raise it up by that 3 inches. This is going to serve as your over bust line. So you can actually do what you want. You can go up more than that. So if you don't want your bust to be exposed, you can go up by 4 inches, 4.5, if you don't want your bust to be exposed. But for me, from the bust point line, I went ahead by I went up by 3.5 inches. Yes, I went up by 3.5 inches from the bust points to connect the overbust. So if I'm wearing this dress, I'm gonna take it up to 4.5, because I don't want my bust to to show. So the next thing you want to do is to contour the overbust to avoid gaping. You want to contour the overbust, and to contour the overbust, the normal thing we normally use is that for slim people use 1.5 to contour their overbust, and bigger busty people can use 2 inches, 1 inch on both sides. But the method I use here is that I measured half of my bra strap to bra strap. You want to go ahead and measure your bra strap to bra strap from one end of your bra to the other end. So mine is 11 inches. So when I divide it by 2, I'm going to have 5.5, and on that line, on that overbust line, I marked 5.5. I marked 5.5, and then checked the allowance I have on that armhole. That is actually what I was doing. So you measure the 5.5, check the allowance you have. I have it as 1.5, the allowance that is remaining after taking my bra to bra strap. So that 1.5 is what I'm going to use to contour this. So I took 0.75 on both sides. Did you see? I took 0.75 on both sides of this line. Did you see now? 0.75. So what you want to do is measure your bra to bra strap, divide it by 2. Mine is 11, divided by 2 is going to give me 5.5. On the overbust line, measure your 5.5 if yours is 11, and after measuring it, you check the excess you have towards the armhole side. Yours can be 1 inch, it can be 2 inches, it can be 2.5. use that excess to contour it. If it is 2.5, you share the 2.5 on the dart line. If it is 2 inches, you share it on the dart line. So this is what I normally use, and it always work for me. It's actually make the bustier to lay down flat on your body without having gaping or anything. So the next thing is to take my neckline. I'm going to be using depth of 7.5 from the shoulder line, and then I want to go ahead and curve out this. So I'm trying to get a rounded or a scoop neckline. This dress or this top has a scoop neckline, so I'm trying to like get it. So I want to like close this dart on the overbust to, you know, be able to get that scoop neckline. So what I did is that I went ahead to like open the bust dart. Did you see? You want to open the bust dart so you'll be able to close up this part. Did you see? You want to like open it up and close up this part. So when I close up this part, it will now help me to like, you know, get the perfect scoop neckline that I need. It will help me to get the perfect scoop neckline, or you can use round neckline, or depending on what you want to achieve, you can use a sweetheart neckline. You mustn't use the one I used. So this is a tutorial. I'm just like giving you a guide on what to do. So when you are drafting yours, you can choose any neckline of your choice. So did you see? So after using that curved ruler, so at this point I didn't know that my pattern has torn, because this is very thick. As I was folding it, the thing like, you know, tore a bit. So but then thank God it's pattern, so it will not really affect much. So did you see? You want to like close it. Did you see? Close it and then achieve your neckline. So the first neckline I made, I didn't like it, so I'll go ahead and use like this curved ruler, this particular one, to get like a scoop neckline. Did you see? You want to like go ahead and get your neckline. So after cutting the neckline that I want for my front, yeah, the front pattern is ready. Like, so I'll just keep the front pattern and concentrate on the back pattern. Do you understand? Then we will now go back to, you know, to it again. So this is my back pattern. I've marked the neckline, the shoulder slope, the armhole. So on the waistline, I mark 1/4 of my waist circumference. My waist circumference plus 1 inch for that. So on the waistline, mark 1/4 of my waist circumference plus 1 inch for that. On the hem part, I mark 1/4 of my upper hip circumference. Did you see? I mark 1/4 of my upper hip circumference on the length. So the next thing you want to do is to, you know, take out your first dart, which is the normal dart that you added 1 inch on the waistline. After that, you still want to like, you know, we still have 1 inch to take from the back. Do you understand? But what I want to do next is to like, you know, shaping out the center back. Did you see the opening there? So what I did is that on the upper part I took 1.5, and on the down part I took 1 inch to connect it. Did you see that? So that part is going to be cut out. It's going to be cut out. That's like the opening at your corset back. So the next thing I want to do, I marked in 3 inches, and I'm going to be taking my dart. So I'm dividing this back into 3. I'm dividing it, and it's starting from the chest line. This back part is starting from the chest line and will end to the length of the top. So I came inward to mark my first line, or first dart line, 3 inches, and I took 1/2 inch on both sides for the dart. So this is the normal dart that we added on the waistline. The dart of 1 inch that we added on the waistline is what I'm taking out now. So I marked 1/2 inch on both sides, and then I went ahead to like connect it, like connect the dart. So after that, I'm gonna like get another line, like divide this point into 2. Did you see? I want to like divide this point into 2 again. That is what I'm trying to do to mark my dart. So the back part is going to have like 3 pieces. So I think the difference between this first line, the normal dart, and this second line that I made is 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches. So I'm going to be taking 1/2 inch for this line, so 0.25 on both sides. So this that I'm taking now is for the cinching or the snatching method. So I took 0.25 on both sides like this. So it's still remaining 1/2 inch. It's still remaining 1/2 inch. Do you understand? because we're supposed to take out 1 inch from the back, so I've taken half now, 0.25 on both sides of this line dart, so it's remaining half. So I'll come to the waistline like this, going one by that half inch and connect my dart. Did you see? And connect it. So with this now, I've taken out 1 inch on the waistline, and that is on the back part. I've taken out 1 inch from the back part, the waistline of the back part. So you see, I've taken half inch around that point. Do you see? So the next thing you want to do is to go ahead and connect your neckline. Choose the desired neckline of your choice. Did you see what we have? So with this now, we are done with the back part. So you can go ahead and label the way you will understand it. Label it in such a way that you will understand. So these are our pattern. Did you see the front and the back part? Did you see? So from the side, you want to go up by 1.5 and then connect your, give your corset that shape, that rounded shape on the down part. So you want to, from the down part, come up by 1.5 and also do the same for the back. You come up by 1.5 from the side seam now, and then you want to go ahead and connect to the hem part of your corset. So with this now, we are done. Did you see that? So the next thing, I'm gonna use my marker pen to highlighting all the marks that I made so that it will be visible for you to see. So the next thing I'm going to do is to rechannel this my dart. Like I said earlier, it's supposed to go towards the armhole side. Did you see? So I went ahead now to remark that line. Did you see? Remark that line. So this is me trying to rechannel or redirect my dart to meet the armhole. Did you see? I want to redirect it, and I'll still take that 0.5 inch dart on the waistline, just like I did earlier. So I'm going to do that and connect. So that's very easy. Channel that line to that armhole and take your dart. So the dart you are using is 0.5 inch. So I'll go ahead now and mark out that line. So I've gone ahead to rechannel my dart line. Did you see? So it's now connected to the armhole. Did you see that? So I still took the 0.5 inch on the waistline, just like I did in the normal dart, and also on the hem part, we took 0.25 on both sides. I also marked out that side. Did you see? I'll just go ahead and use my marker pen to trace out all these styles, all the markings. I'll use my marker pen to highlighting all my markings. As you can see, I'm done with whatever thing I wanted to do. This is it. I've gone ahead to label it the way I will understand. So this is how our pattern looks like, and I believe you have enjoyed this video to this far. Don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. So in my next video, I'm going to show you how to cut out this. I'm going to show you the technique you are going to be needing to sew your overbust corset. So stay tuned for the next tutorial. Trust me, the next tutorial is gonna be well detailed and you are gonna understand it. Till then, see you in the next class. Bye.